Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So, let me tell you about my day. First, my dryer breaks, and I have to go to the laundromat, and I'm not in a good mood because I have to go to the laundromat, and I hate going to the laundromat. So, I put my clothes in the dryer. Again, my dryer was broken. The laundromat closes at 11 o'clock. You got to get your stuff out of there. I let my clothes dry for 40 minutes. I'm expecting crisp, hot clothes, nice and clean. And what happened? The dryers that I put my money into, they didn't work either. The clothes were spinning and the clothes weren't dry when I pulled them out. So to say that I was in a bad mood is an understatement. Totally insane, out of my mind, in the car. I wish you could have been in there listening to me. We'd had a laugh of a lifetime. Super pissed off mood. Super pissed off. And then guess what happens? I read an article that Brian Flores signs an extension with the Minnesota Vikings. And all that pain, suffering, anger just goes right out the window. And I completely don't give a shit about the 20 pounds of wet clothes in the back of my car. Oh, this is great news. Talk about great news. Let's jump into this article real quick. Little Plays YT, what's up, brother? He's in the chat. Let me start reading this article. We'll talk in a minute. Here we go. Steelers head coach candidate Brian Flores signs contract extension with Vikings. Now, people will say, you don't know for sure if Art Rooney and the Steelers told him no. Maybe he wanted to go with the Vikings. They didn't tell him no. Oh, so wait, he wanted to be the coordinator instead of being the head coach of the Steelers? Of course, he wanted to be the head coach of the Steelers. If you know anything about him and his ego, he's an egomaniac and he's going to get more money. So why wouldn't he want to be the head coach of the Steelers? And then on top of it, he knows, if he gets that job, he's going to have job security for the next 10 to 15 years. I absolutely love that I am so happy right now because no matter what happens, we win. I don't want to mention any names, but I heard some other beat reporters and podcasters defending Flores today. And it's just like, dude, come on. The guy, he's suing the NFL for racism. He said the owner of the Dolphins told him to tank the season on purpose. It's just like, you know what? We have had enough adventure for the last 10 or 15 years. We're good. I'm so happy Omar Khan told the entire coaching staff today, clean out your offices. The new coach might retain you, he might not. I hope we clean house and start over again. Let me jump back into that article. Steelers head coach candidate Brian Flores signs contract extension with Vikings. Good news. Good news. Jeremy Fowler, whatever. Brian Flores is still in the mix on head coaching jobs despite his new deal with Minnesota. I'm told he just interviewed him. What am I reading here? Don't try to make my good mood turning into a horrible mood. So what, does the deal go void? I mean, I'm finding this out live. I do these things instantly to have an instant reaction. Oh God, listen, you know what? I hope Art Rooney looks at this one way, like, oh, you don't really want the Steelers job. You don't want to be dedicated to us. You want to. I hope he takes it personal for once. I really do, because I don't want this clown being the coach of the Steelers. I really don't. I had enough. And I mean this. If he is the coach of the Steelers, I am not covering the Steelers. I'm not watching the Steelers game until he is out of there. I cannot stand him. I'm tired of everybody making excuses for this moron who is the head coach of the Dolphins. He was 23 and 24 in 3 seasons. Every player hated his guts. It's a fact. He's making up all types of lies because he wasn't successful. And it's like everybody wants to make excuses. The Steelers do not need Brian Flores as their coach. Tom Pelissero also writes, the Vikings have signed defensive coordinator Brian Flores to a new contract. Sources tell me at Rap Sheet. Whatever. Good. I hope he's happy with his contract. Get lost. Take a walk. Get lost. I'm tired of hearing about this guy. Let's move on. Anybody but him. Anybody but him. Literally anybody but him. What's up, Mythical Message? How are you? I appreciate the thumbs up. Pro Football Focus grades and snap counts. Steelers 2025 season in review. It doesn't look good. We did not have hardly any players with high grades on offense. Excellent. Nobody was a 90 plus grade. I mean, it makes it easier for me to look at this other way. Jalen Warren was the highest rated player on offense with an 81, 515 snaps. Dylan Cook was next at 77.3. Joshua Garcia. Dear Lord, please don't let the Steelers get this guy. I feel the same way. I'm ready to turn my channel off. I'm not covering the Steelers if he's the coach. I'm not. Brogex, what up? What's up, brother? How are you? I'm not going to get into all their grades, but it was pretty good. Zach Frazier, most of our offensive linemen are in the top 12, right? So we had Dylan Cook at number 2, 77.3, Zach Frazier, 73.8, Isaac Siamalo, 73.3 at 5, number 6, Mason McCormick, 72.9, Ryan McCullum at 10th, the center at 69 was his grade. So look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 offensive linemen in the top 10 for PFF grades on the offense, which is a good sign. Sean McDermott to Pittsburgh. I mean, I wish we would get John Gruden. I mean, I don't think the Steelers are going to go that way because he's older, but we could bring him in to develop Will Howard to be a quarterbacks coach, and I wouldn't mind seeing Chucky as the head coach. But I mean, realistically, do I think Art Rooney's going to hire somebody that's that old? They want a guy that's going to be there for the long run. So I don't think that's going to happen. I love Chucky, so I agree. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Hey man, Cam Hayward still doing it. The best grade on defense was defensive lineman Cam Hayward. He got a 90.4. Best 85.6 for pass rush, fifth, 84.5 for run defense, third, 69.8 tackles, 53 pressures, ninth. You get the point. Listen, he had an excellent season, Cam Hayward. The next 3 players were edge Nick Herbig. He had a grade of 87.3, James Pierre 86.2, and Alex Highsmith 82.2. TJ Watt, his grade. I'm just going to end it with this one because I don't want to keep talking about this. It's just like edge TJ Watt 74.2. He had the 6th most penalties in the National Football League, but don't pay too much attention to that because it's bullshit. The roughing the passer crap is just total garbage, and we all know it. So, you know what? It's just whatever. Please, I can't stand Roger. Don't get me started again. I'm gonna have flashbacks to the dryer not working for the second time. I'm just gonna go full Incredible Hulk mode in a minute. This article makes me laugh. I'll watch on my. I appreciate that little D play YT. I appreciate that. This makes me laugh. So Jerry Dulac says that Nate Sheelhace had Mike Tomlin vibes, had an impressive interview. Do you really think that's a good thing, Jerry? Mike Tomlin vibes? Haven't we had enough of that? It's like Jesus, man. Like, he has Mike Tomlin vibes. Oh, that's a real good thing. Well, the new coach won't be starting his career with Ben Roethlisberger. Um, Dick LeBeau as the defensive coordinator, an outstanding offensive line, a Troy Polamalu-led defense along with James Harrison. So you know what? This is a totally different situation. But hey, nobody's allowed to mention that about Tomlin. Never mind his Super Bowl winning roster. Every player was drafted by Cowher except for one. But hey, don't talk about that because that means you're evil. That means you're a hater. Just stop. Pittsburgh Post Gazette's Jerry Dulac shared details of his virtual interview with the team. I'm not going to say he's the top guy because some of these candidates still have to interview in person with AR2, and he's the only one who will make the call, Dulac wrote in his weekly Steelers chat. But I will say Sheil Haas, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, was an impressive interview, which fits with other NFL people think of him. So was Tomlin. Yeah, all right, whatever. Being compared to Mike Tomlin at this point, I don't think it's a good thing if you ask me. Because the NFL has changed, and you need every week you need to scheme against the teams you're playing, offensive, defensively. And forget what I say because you guys will say you're a nobody. You're a dork with a microphone. Well, listen, what does Tom Brady and Julian Edelman say about the Steelers? What they do week in and week out. Since I'm just a dork with a microphone, whatever. No, because nobody else can figure out what's going on. Is Rodgers coming back? I hope not. There's some rumor to that. There's some speculation of that, but I hope not, Rogex. So Omar Khan gave direct message to Steelers coaching staff after season. Clean out your offices. I love it. Get out, everybody. We're cleaning house. I love it. Wet clothes and all. I love it. General Manager Omar Khan, Art Rooney II, they took those coaches in a meeting. Martin said on SportsCenter Wednesday morning, excuse me, Omar Khan said, listen, your emails are done after this week. By next week, clean out your offices. The new head coach may keep you. He may not. I wish I could have gave that order. I wish I could have been the one telling those horrendous coaches, pack your bags. It's time to go. We're starting over again. But hey, whatever. Oh, I got to read this part because I always like to talk about this. It's nearly guaranteed most of the 2026 coaching staff will consist of new faces, a level of turnover the team hasn't seen in decades. Even after Mike Tomlin took over in 2007, six coaches stuck around. Defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau was retained while the offensive coordinator was in-house promotion. Bruce Arians elevated from receivers coach to OC. It'll be an upset if there's that level of carryover this time around. Yeah, but the only problem was this. Tomlin promised Art Rooney that he wouldn't get rid of LeBeau, and that's why they gave him the job. But then after they won the Super Bowl, bye-bye, Dick, see you later. I mean, only the greatest defensive mind ever, who probably, if you see him, he probably could still be coaching the Steelers defense today. And we know he has the passion and fire for it, and he's in tremendous shape. But hey, you know what? Let's not talk about that. All right, I guess we're just moving on, but hey, it's nope, we're not allowed to talk about anything that Tomlin did that was negative for the team, which was bad for the team. Oh, you're gonna love this one, of course. Jay Glazer. Let me read it first. Steelers have to change their ways to stay relevant, Glazer says. Mike Tomlin really, really covered up a lot. Oh, really? Mike Tomlin covered up a lot? Hey, Jay, I got a question for you. Who do you think runs the entire organization from the roster from A to B? Who do you think's running it? Oh, let me guess. Art Rooney didn't want to spend money on players. I mean, look at DK Metcalf. Look at Patrick Queen. Look at the deal they gave TJ. So, how did the Steelers need to change their ways? What, you want a nicer locker room? You want lounge chairs? Because all the families of the Steelers players complain that nobody feeds them steak and caviar at the effing games. It's just like typical Jay Glazer. Oh, yeah, you're not too biased, right, Jay? No, not at all. We should all, you know what? Tomlin is a god, and we should all be thankful that we were in his presence, according to Jay Glazer. Let's see what he had to say. The Steelers need to change their ways in the post Mike Tomlin era if they want to stay relevant, NFL insider Jay Glazer believes. Long friend of Tomlin, his analysts may lack some degree of objectivity, like I just said, but after 19 years with one head coach, some changes naturally feel inevitable anyway. While the Steelers are long associated with stability, Glazer chalks up somewhat to luck, or at least the good fortune of making a good decision three times over a half a century. Yes, the Steelers have only had three coaches since 1969, but they've also had three chances to fail. If you get it right once, you're good for 15 years or more before worrying about it again. Everybody thinks it's the greatest because, well, they don't fire head coaches. Well, they don't fire head coaches because they're been successful all those years. Glazer said on Wake Up Barstool about Pittsburgh vacant head coaching position. But the Steelers, man, they have no quarterback. They have an aging defense where you're gonna have to move on from some guys who are stars. Jay Glazer, who brings in all the quarterbacks, Glazer? Who drafts the quarterbacks, Glazer? Who signs the free agents? Who makes all the decisions, Glazer? So how are you saying that Art Rooney and the Steelers organization needs to do better? Meanwhile, it's your buddy Mike Tomlin, the one that's making all the decisions. I'm so tired of this shit that everybody dumps on the Steelers organization and dump on Art Rooney. Art Rooney is obviously a very nice, kind, patient man, a lot more patient than, probably 99.9% of the fans. But I'm so tired of everybody taking a dump on him and taking a dump on the organization because Mike Tomlin was the one driving this ship. And you're going to have to deal with reality, Jay Glazer, another clown that has no credibility at this point because he wants to glaze Tomlin all day. Little play YT. One last thing. The NFL is scripted. It made me mad that the refs cheated the Bills. Bro, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I'll watch the Super Bowl, but I don't watch any other teams but the Steelers. So I'm not gonna lie and pretend like I know what you're talking about because I don't. I mean, I heard a little bit of it, but well, I guess Andy Weidel was let go by the Steelers. Let me see what else is going on. Oh, yeah. Fiddlepado doesn't think Steelers want Jalen Ramsey back at safety, didn't really produce turnovers. I mean, I don't think that Jalen Ramsey played well at all this year. Mike Tomlin was raving about him like he got beaten coverage over and over when he was at corner. While he was at safety, his eyes were peeking in the backfield constantly, worried about the run, and then receivers were getting behind him and making big plays. Your first responsibility as a safety, that from the time you're 8 years old, you're taught that your first responsibility is nobody gets behind you, then you play the run and everything else. And Jalen Ramsey, I mean, I don't know how Minka ended up finishing the season, but I really don't think we should have traded Minka Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey. GTA Live on, his name is Glazer. So yeah, he's glazing, all right. He glazes Tomlin every chance he gets. I mean, I'm perfectly fine if the Steelers say goodbye to Jalen Ramsey. I wouldn't mind getting younger. But again, if the player they bring in is not as good as him, then you got to keep him around. But Patrick Rooney Jr., he had he's always very outspoken about the Steelers. Let me find the article real quick. Where is it? Come on. Oh, here we go. He's pretty funny, Patrick Rooney Jr. He's really funny. He bashes Tomlin all the time. I love it. Patrick Rooney, it must be a real interesting Thanksgiving with the Rooneys when Patrick is there. Hey, pass me the mashed potatoes. Oh, by the way, Art, I'm really sick of Tomlin. He absolutely sucks. But hey, yeah, pass me down the gravy while you're at it. He's not bashful about it at all. I love Patrick Rooney Jr. should actually be the one covering the team. Rogue X says Trayvon Diggs is available. The Packers might let him go. Would you take him? N- I don't think so. Not at this point. Let's see what Patrick Rooney Jr. had to say. I think it's pretty much gone the way most of these cycles go, where teams pinpoint a guy that they like and they go after him. Rooney said Wednesday on the PBKC Picks podcast, and other teams want to be more deliberate and really scan the field. I know they're waiting. A bunch of these teams, I think they're waiting for the Rams and Seattle and the other teams to get out of the playoffs so they can formally interview not just over Zoom, some of their assistant coaches. Once this week is over and once the Super Bowl is over, I think the rest of these dominoes fall. I really like Shula. He really gives me good vibes. And remember one thing, it's like life is like a weird cycle sometimes. Don Shula, I guess his grandfather, he's the one that referred Coach Noel. He told the Steelers to hire Coach Noel. And now it's coming full circle. We'll shoot where Shula will now coach the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's what I'm hoping and praying for. The vibes I get from him are just everything seems like it would just Matt, he's got good bloodlines. I'm sure he's a super intelligent coach. He's young. He sees the direction of the league is going. I really think he could pull it off. Even though, excuse me, even though we don't have a quarterback, I think he can do it. Well, they're arguing in the comment section here in the instant chat. Little DJ play YT says Trevon Diggs is trash, just like every other Cowboys player. Yeah, I'd like to say that. I agree with you. He's too slow at corner. I mean, I'm not really sold on him. Look, the Steelers got to have a really good draft, and we'll go from there. I'm ready to go young, man. I really am. Quarter. Look, we got a good. Our offensive line is playing better. We got a couple tight ends. We got a couple running backs. I'm about to go full Candace Owens on you right now. I'm going full Candace Owens. You know, Candace Owens is always saying she has these dreams. Oh, damn. I had a dream that the Steelers drafted the quarterback, Dylan, the kid that was at Nebraska. Now he's going to Oregon. Can somebody tell me his name real quick? Let me say it. Let me say his name. Hold on. I got to look it up. I got to tell you my vision that I had. It was a vision quest dream about the Steelers quarterback. Hold on. Let me look at this again. Oh, Dylan Raiola. Hold on. Who Cornhuskers quarterback? Hold on. Where is this kid's name? Oh, I had a dream. I had a dream that the Steelers drafted Dylan Raiola, not this year, the following year. And it just like in the dream, I didn't really see him play, but it came across like Big Ben vibes, like Big Ben, it's going to work type of vibes. So don't be surprised if Dylan Raiola in 2027 is the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback because I had a dream. I woke up not today, yesterday, that the Steelers drafted him and it worked out very well. So let me get back to my articles. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Let me click back on it. I might be done. I might not. Dylan Raiola. Yeah, I had a dream that the Steelers drafted him and it worked out great. Let me just find see if there's another article. Steelers name potential landing spot for Brandon Ayuk. I mean, I don't know. I mean, no. I mean, is he an upgrade over Adam Thielen and some of our other older receivers? Yeah, I believe so. But we don't need to spend more money on an older receiver. I want to get younger. I want to get faster. You know, he fell off a bit, Brandon Ayuk. Can you bring him in to be the fourth receiver? Yeah, you could definitely do that. Third receiver, but the Steelers really need to go big in the draft and get like a lights out receiver. The kid from Ohio State, Smith. I mean, I know he's going to be a top 5 pick, and the Steelers probably pick what 15th. Trade some draft picks. Do whatever you got to do to get him. You know, he's worth it. So he seems like an elite prospect. I also like the safety on Ohio State too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Ohio State, the wide receiver Smith and the safe. I like Caleb Downs, I think his name is, the safety. Looks like he's gonna be an outstanding player. Oh, here we go with this nonsense. I'm gonna end it with this. Former GM would absolutely like to see McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers together in Pittsburgh. Like, dude, this is why these ex-GMs don't have jobs anymore. Do you really watch the game? Are you really watching these games? Are you really tuned into what's going on? Did you see that basically every throw Aaron Rodgers made, except for 3 or 4 a game, was behind the line of scrimmage? He's a 42-year-old quarterback. Can we just get younger? Remember, Troy Aikman was 1 in 15 his rookie year. Peyton Manning didn't have a good like you got to give players time to grow and develop. And that you can't just, draft a rookie quarterback and think you're going to go to the Super. I'm ready to go get younger and I'm ready to go through the growing pains. And our organization will once again be prominent. The black and gold will mean something. The standard will once again be the standard. But sometimes you gotta go through some growing pains, and we keep delaying it. I don't wanna delay the growing pains. Yeah, Jeremiah Smith, thank you, I appreciate that. Jeremiah Smith is an excellent player. Like the Steelers, I wouldn't trade away our first round draft pick in 2027 because the quarterback class is gonna be much better, and again, I'm a fan of Dylan Raiola, and I like the Samoan kid from USC, big frame, sturdy. It doesn't seem like he gets frazzled at all, but, I don't know, my dream was about Raiola. Let me get into this article. You're talking about a veteran guy that has shown that he's a damn good coach, Green Bay and Dallas, and oh yeah, he's shown that he can get the best out of a quarterback. Checking some boxes, right? Well, he said Wednesday on 93.7 The Fan. Now let's see who he brings in underneath him that he can groom to be heir apparent. I'm not mad. I'm not mad that whatsoever. Whatever. I mean, I think there's also the Aaron Rodgers situation. Rodgers has talked about playing with McCarthy again in the past. While he thinks the two would make sense together again in Pittsburgh, absolutely no doubt, then they could seriously put a plan together and say, let's get a quarterback. Well, he said, just give me a break. Yeah, Caleb Downs. Thank you, little play YT. That's the Thank you, Aaron, Derek. I appreciate it. Yeah, I want to apologize to you guys that I'm not like giving you a schedule like, oh, I'm definitely going to go live at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I got some issues going on. So I'm just, whatever time I can get on here to do this show, that's what I'm doing. But eventually, just give it like another couple weeks. It's going to be like Monday through Friday, exactly at this time. I'm going to go live and that's it. So it's kind of like been a sporadic. I don't like doing things like that, but right now I'm forced to do things like that. Um, I don't know what this GM is talking about. I mean, Art Rooney pretty much already put the kibosh on this. He came out and was like, he usually doesn't do that. He said something like, "Oh no, that was Tomlin's guy." I don't think Art Rooney wants him back, and I don't think he's coming back. Thanks, Aaron Derek. I appreciate it. Well, so far to me, it looks like we got good news. From when I read it in the car, I thought Brian Flores was officially finished. He signed a contract extension with the Vikings, but now I'm reading that he's still in contention for head coaching. It's just like this guy is nothing but a train wreck and a disaster. He's just a pain in the. He's sloppy. Wait, you're going for head coaching jobs, but you signed an extension with the Vikings, but you still want to be considered. He's just a pain in the ass. We don't need this. We need rock solid stability. Am I asking for too much to get a coach that's not suing the NFL for racism? Am I asking for too much to get a report where, the Miami, he drafted Minka Fitzpatrick. Brian Flores drafted Minka Fitzpatrick. He's number 11 pick overall in the first round. And Brian Flores wants him to gain 20 pounds and play outside linebacker. And it's just like this is the type of individual that we're dealing with. Look, all I have nothing positive to say about Flores. I really hope he just stays with the Vikings, and I'm tired of hearing anybody defend him, his behavior off the field, on the field. I mean, he used to curse out Tui Tuivalu, the Dolphins quarterback. Excuse me for pronouncing the name wrong. He's like, if a player's not playing well, that's fine. Just don't play him. You don't got to tell me, oh, you effing suck and all this. Like that's your starting franchise quarterback, and then Flores is like, well, I have a mean style, very vicious. Just shut that. You're not tough, dude. You want everybody. Your job as the head coach is not to make people think you're a tough guy. Your job is to scheme for the team you're playing, offensively and defensively. It's not your job to be a motivator. It's not your job you want the team to think you're this hard ass or tough guy. That's not your effing job. I just think Flores is a total clown. And I told you this before. I had a friend that was on the Dolphins, and he would tell me how all the meetings would start with Flores telling some come up story about how tough his life was as all this bullshit. Listen, everybody has problems. So I listen. I'm not a Flores fan at all. Obviously, you could see that, and I really hope the Steelers make a smart decision and stay the hell away from him. I wouldn't even let him in the building. 49ers take potential Steelers offseason target quarterback Mac Jones off trade. I don't want to hear about Mac Jones, please. Okay, I'm gonna end it with this. I promise. Bill Cowher. I love Coach Cowher. I love him. I miss him. It's important to win. Bill Cowher says Steelers should be open to changing style of play with new head coach. Let's see what he had to say. No, I think it's important to win. Cowher said recently on CBS Sports, we need to talk. I think whatever that makeup is, it's a football team that you got to find some stability at the quarterback position that's been missing for the last 3 or 4 years. They've got a young offensive line. They got DK Metcalf, a group of receivers, and even their running backs have played well, which they did. You've got guys like TJ Watt getting up there and Cam Hayward getting up there, but they're still a good front seven. It's a good football team. It's a good organization. The person walking into that building, it's not going to be about the style of play, but it's the manner in which you approach it. Well, I think we should all listen to Coach Cowher. He knows his stuff. Too bad remember one thing. Coach Cowher was fired because Ben Roethlisberger decided to ride a motorcycle with no helmet and break his jaw and his nose and his teeth and everything else. The team goes 8-8 or 8-9. It was an excellent team that he had if he would have been retained the following year. Look, I know you can't cry over spilled milk, but you see where I'm going. You know, I didn't like that decision at all. Bill Cowher should have coached his entire career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I know he didn't coach after the Steelers, but what I'm saying is he should have coached for another 10 to 15 years after that incident with Ben. There was never any reason to get rid of him other than you just felt like getting rid of him. Oh, I'm tired. We didn't need change. No, we didn't. You didn't need to get rid of Cowher. Steelers kind of did the same thing with Rod Woodson. He could have played his whole career as a Steeler, but I mean, Rod did like money. He used to always give them a hard time about contracts. But I just felt like Rod Woodson performed at he helped the Ravens win a Super Bowl. Yeah. I'm gonna throw up even thinking about it. I mean, I got one of my favorite pictures up on the wall there of Rod. Uh, you know, can't get everything you want out of life, but it would have been nice, huh? All right, I'm gonna end it with that. Hold on, wait a minute. So you're saying that? Yeah, I'm not saying they fired, but they blamed Cowher. Okay, Aaron Derrick 5721 says, "Wait a minute. So you're saying that they fired Cowher because of the Benz accident?" Well, yeah, the team went, 500, 8-8 or 8-9, and then the next thing you know, no, I know you're just asking me. I'm just explaining to you. I'm just reading what you're saying. So in case people aren't reading it, so I'm reading what you're asking me. Yeah, I mean, the team finished 8-8 or 8-9, and all you heard was Cowher's not a good coach and he doesn't have control of the team. You lost your quarterback. I forget how many games because he decided to ride his motorcycle with no helmet. Is that really Bill Cowher's fault? Like, I don't understand the logic sometimes of these owners, like what they're thinking. Like, for instance, Jim Harbaugh getting fired. It's like, did Harbaugh make, his players drop these balls? And, you saw Mark Andrews 2 years ago drop a ball. There's certain things, like, it's out of the coach's control. Why? Because you have certain players on the team that don't like the coach. Well, guess what? If there's a certain amount of players on your team that don't like you as the coach, I'm not saying they have to hate you, but they should feel a little bit uneasy around you, like they're walking on eggshell, not tiny bit. I'm not saying you can't be polite and treat people as humans, but it's your job to hold these players accountable. And most of these players today, they're making so much money. I mean, look at Lamar Jackson. He refuses to practice on Wednesday because he doesn't want to get up early. And then he goes to the owner, Steve Bisciotti, whatever his name is, and they changed the practice time to accommodate him. Like, who the F are you? Do you think Bill Cowher would have put up with that shit? Do you think Coach Noel would have put up with that? But in today's NFL, they put up with that. It's like the superstars of the team take the team hostage. Oh, I don't like that coach. I don't want him here. Who the F are you? It's like TJ Watt the other day. When he was in the contract negotiations, he's like, "Well, I really want to play for Coach Tomlin." Hey, listen, pal, we're paying you $30 million a year. You're older. You might not be what you used to be. Who are you to come in here and tell me what I need to do? You know, like, who are you to tell us who we need to coach? We don't need you to tell us who the coach should be. We're going to make that decision who the coach should be. And you should be happy we're just going to pay you the money that you're asking for. How about that? How about know your place? Yeah, it was a while ago, Aaron Derrick. I'm trying to remember the whole thing, but Ben definitely he was riding his motorcycle in Pittsburgh selfishly, no helmet, broke his nose, his teeth, his jaw or something. The team finished, 500. It was a really good team. In the following year after, and I think no, I think it was 2 years after, not the following year. Tomlin wins the Super Bowl, but the players, every single player on that roster was drafted by Bill Cowher except for one, and I think it happened not the year. I think 2 years after he retired. So my dates are a little messed up in my mind. I don't have it in front of me, but these players are just totally out of control. It's like I will never watch basketball, but it's like LeBron. He calls the shots who the coach is going to be. Who the F are you? Cam certainly didn't sound very enthusiastic about next season. Aaron Derrick said, no, he didn't. I mean, he probably figures to himself, like, with Tomlin, his job was safe. But if they bring in a new coach, even though I played well, he'll probably want to get younger. I mean, I have no problem with Cam coming. Look, I mean, he produced. I mean, production is production. But we all know that Father Time is undefeated, and sooner or later he's going to fall off. It's just a matter of when he's going to fall off. And you know how that goes. You know how it goes. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna wrap it up right now. When I get on a schedule, I'll let everybody know, and I'll make sure the video is, when you schedule the video, that for time and date to give you more advance when I'm gonna go live. So, just want to apologize to everybody that tuned in. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football. The 4-1-2.